Are you thinking about moving to Anaconda, Montana, but you're just not sure where you should move to? Well, don't worry, I got you. Because in this video, I'm going to be breaking down every area in and around Anaconda that would suit your lifestyle. And just saying, I've lived in Anaconda for most of my life, so I think I definitely have some authority to talk about the town. Hey guys, Future Carter here. I got a haircut. I don't look pretty good, but I forgot to introduce myself in the beginning of the video. So who am I? So my name's Carter. I'm with Century 21 Shea Realty here in Butte and Anaconda. And so all my info will be down in the description below or in the About Me section on YouTube. And so if you have any questions or are looking to make any moves here in the next few months in Anaconda or Butte, just hit me up. Thanks. Back to the video. Like here is kind of the main road that goes through it, and we will thus zoom in on this, and we will come to Anaconda, and we will start here in town because it's easier. I think it'd be easier to start in and then work our way out. Work our way out. I shouldn't move the mic away from my mouth. I don't have a mic stand, it broke, so I'm just working with what I got. Alrighty, so we're gonna start here. So over here is so sorry, right here we have the commons, and there's a big Christmas tree here, and they do Christmas lightings here, but we'll get to that in a minute. So east of the commons over here, we call this is just kind of considered the east end of town. I mean, Anaconda doesn't really have too many neighborhoods other than kind of you have this section, and then back in the day, this was up here known as the I want to say it was called the New Division. I'm not 100% sure on this. This was a long time ago. Like I do want to say that. So this is where a lot of Anaconda's older and historic houses are, and just buildings in general. So these houses sit on smaller lots, are older, and are just generally smaller, like the floor plan and everything and that such. But there is a reason for these houses being small, because Anaconda. I mean, I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but the Anaconda Copper Company. And this is where the smelter is. I'm not sure if it'll show up on the map, but it's right over here. Oh, it's right there. Yeah, I went too far. Anyways, the workers, they really didn't need much because they were really just here to make money and mine, or not mine, but work at the smelter. They did the mining over here in Butte, where I'm recording this from actually, but regardless. And I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but I mean, there's also a pretty decent amount of bars on this end of town. And there is another historical reason for that because back in the day, around that time, the town it has a very walkable layout, at least on this east end, as I'm sure you can tell. But a lot of people, a lot of the workers would go to the bar to cash their checks, but bars also doubled as grocery stores back then. So it really just made sense why there were so many of them just around because everything in the town on the east end was designed to be very walkable, even a lot of the stuff up here. And while we're here on the east end, I should probably talk about the Jack Nicklaus. Nicklaus? How do you say his last name? An 18-hole Jack Nicklaus golf course. It's over here. So while we're on the east end, I should talk about the Old Works Golf Course, which is an 18-hole Jack Nicklaus course, and it actually has black slag bunkers used from the smelter, which I think is actually pretty cool. I mean, the big slag hill that was right here is now, where am I on the map? It would be on this part where the big slag hill was. It is now covered, or maybe just right there. It's covered with dirt now, but I really like this course. I played a few rounds here myself back in high school when I was in golf and just for fun in the summertime with my family. I really like the course. It's fun. It really is just a good time. It is a beautiful course too. And okay, yeah, I don't know why it should show up as green right here because it's a park. But this is also a park. It's Benny Goodwin Park. It has a little bit, as you can see in this picture. Oh, where is my mouse? As you can see in this picture right here, there's a little playground here for recreational use. There's also, I'm not sure if it's in the photos, that right there. So this is kind of a little like gazebo type deal, and you can rent it out and just have a lot of fun things here, like summer events, if you like a graduation maybe or things like that. And then I've also seen car shows happen here in the summertime every once in a while, which I love going to car shows. Car shows are always fun. Always fun to see what them old folks have, just all them treasures in their garage. On this side of town, you also find most of Anaconda's businesses and restaurants, for such as there's Subway right here, my favorite place in this town. It's not that far. It's that one. Yeah, that one, Obella. My favorite place is Obella. I really like going to Obella's. It's really fun there. And yeah, as you can see, just all these little food icons. If I zoom in again, yep, they're just all on this side of town. And there's a lot of businesses too on this side of town. Um, the liquor store, the pawn shops right over here, right up here too, and more like that. There's a bowling alley right over here. So I should talk about this little piece over here. So they're building some, what is it called? I think it's called like the Old Works condos or something. I'll I'll put a little tag or something of what it's actually called here in editing. But on this little road right here, right down here near Goosetown Health Club, I drove by a lot in the past few months while I was going to the gym. I don't really go to this gym anymore. It's just kind of inconvenient for me at the moment. But I really do like it in there. They just remodeled it. I think it's way better in there than it used to be, honestly. It's really cool now. It's really cool just to see what the local businesses are doing to improve, you know? And so yeah, just back to my point is on East Pennsylvania Street, just they're building kind of new things, and then this is kind of a bunch of nice houses in here. I don't really know how many of those are ever for sale though, because I don't. And the last thing I want to touch on this East End before I move on to a different part, before I move up more west, is out here where there's the new Forge Hotel, Murdoch's, and Auto Riley's, and I don't know if it is the Black Diamond Car Wash is on here now. I'm not quite sure how much more they're going to expand out here, but in the past few years they have put these four things, not the town pump. The town pump has been there for a long time, but these four things they have put these in on this side of the road. So I'm really excited to see if we are going to get anything else. I really am. Alrighty, and so now as we scroll out and we kind of move west towards the town, past the commons, up here it's kind of still the same kind of floor plan, or it's kind of still the same lots and stuff. But I will say, because I used to paint a lot of the houses in Anaconda when I was a teenager, and I will say some of the houses up here are, I would say, nicer than down here. That's just my personal opinion, though. They are very similar across the board, everything up here. But, and then I do want to touch on this real quick. This is Sunnyside Road up here, which is, I would call this like more of like a little micro neighborhood within Anaconda. I mean, it could be its own neighborhood. It could be, I guess. But there's definitely some nice houses up here, and the road goes out for a little bit all the way up to here. And I think I've driven the whole road. I don't want to say I have. I know I've driven most of it at least, and it's pretty nice up there. I can't lie. There's definitely a lot of cool places up there. But now, as we move up here and come past Stokes around this bend, this is what I believe was called back in the day the new division. If it wasn't called that, I'll put whatever it was called up on screen right there. A lot of these houses are they're slightly newer than the ones on the east end of town. Not genuinely, they're generally bigger and have a little bit bigger of a floor plan and are just, I would say, nicer homes. Like this side of town is just nicer. So this side of Anaconda was built a little bit later, and it was definitely more intentionally planned as a residential area. So homes are typically a little bit larger, more spacious, and sit on a little bit bigger lots than the typical house here on the east end. It's a little more open and quieter and spread out up here on the west end of town. And there aren't a whole ton of like commercial buildings up here except for maybe Stokes and then the Thriftway up here. And then the Hofbräu. This is okay, that's the fields right there. So that's actually great. So then over here we have the Little League baseball fields. These are the Marty May fields, right? Yeah. Or I don't know if they're still called that, but they're the baseball fields right there. So then you come over here, and it's not really on the east end or west end. It's kind of in the middle of town, I would say, pretty much. But you have Washoe Park, which I really like going to Washoe Park in the summertime to walk my dogs. It gets really green, and they have nice just benches set up for you to have a nice picnic. And it's right along the creek, and there's walking trails and little bridges you can use to get across the creek. It's honestly just a nice walk. I mean, make sure you bring bags to clean up after your dog, of course, because that's a problem. Then there's also the Washoe Park swimming pool, which is here, which is the town pool, which opens in the summertime. I don't remember the day. It's been a while since I've been there. I'll be honest. I don't remember the month either. It's been a long time since I've been there. I just go to Fairmont these days. And when I was a little kid, we didn't afford that. There's water right here. It's called the Crick. So Washoe Park also features every summer the Art in the Park event, which is really fun. There's tons of food, live music, lots of people there. It's a great time. You can buy tons of like really cool, not I almost said artifacts, but like not even antiques, just I guess really cool pieces of like homemade art. Like I know last year there was a bunch of wood carvings of like bears and stuff like that at this one on the entrance. That was really cool. I mean, there's always hat stands. There's great food there too. And then there's I think a few of the local communities do fundraising events there as well. Like the schools, like the high school, I'm pretty sure does. So we've kind of gone over the town of Anaconda and the little micro neighborhood of Sunnyside over here. Alrighty, so now getting more into just the grandiose scheme of Deer Lodge County. we come over here to Opportunity. So now this is just outside to the east of Anaconda. So depending on where you're coming from, this is either the last place you would get to, or you drive by it getting to Anaconda. So an opportunity is mostly made up of like ranch style homes, typically on larger lots, very typically on larger lots than what's in town, and in some cases full acreage out here. And I've been out here a lot. There some people out here have a lot of livestock. They have their own gardens. They definitely a lot more sustainable living practices out here. And that's mainly because, like I said, bigger lots, they have the space out here, and it's just kind of how things work out here. Oh, and then Opportunity is also right close to, it's out here. Blind. Is the golf course? Yep, the Anaconda Country Club. So this is a 9-hole golf course, and I like it. It's fun. I've golfed here way more than the other one because this is where my grandparents golf, and I have a lot of good memories of us going there when I was a little kid. And people are there are nice. It's great. I'm not too good at golf, but it's fun, right? And then probably the best perk in my opinion of living an Opportunity, other than all the great things I just mentioned, is that you are closer to I-90. And I-90 is how you get places in Montana. I'll say that. And it's nice because you're close to Butte, or you can hop on 90 and go the other way to Missoula, which is right up here. I'm not dumb, right? It's Drummond. Missoula's right there. And then if you wanted to, you could take a right here, go through Butte the other way if you want to come up to Helena. I mean, there's a lot of cool things you can do. You can go to Missoula. Take a right up here and go up through this is a really cool scenic route. Freshly paved a few years ago, at least when I was on it, which is cool. But yeah, it's really scenic drive up to Flathead Lake right there. But anyways, we're getting into a lot more other things about Montana, but this state, I just love this state. It's awesome. But anyways, you come out here on this nice. I do like the drive. You get past the camel humps out here, turns into 70, and then you get to Silver Lake, which is really cool. You come around the bend, and this is cool because this is important. Oh, I gotta search on Anaconda again. So half the lake is in Deer Lodge County, and then half the lake is in, I believe Peaburg is in Granite County. I'm pretty sure it's Granite County. And so that is just like an important thing to take into consideration if you are buying a house around the lake. And that's just kind of what county you got to go to get certain things if you need it. And so that's just an important thing to. But now back into it. These houses are a lot nicer. I've painted and stained a decent amount of them around the lake and up this. It's really beautiful. You have the Seven Gables out here. Oh, yeah, the lake house. Forgot about the lake house is a pretty good place to eat too. They have pretty good food. And then you have a few boat docks and stuff around here as the such. There's just a lot of nice houses on the lake. A lot of water access in some places. And this area is generally more expensive in like most cases than Anaconda Opportunity. It's mainly just a more expensive area because of the lake access. And the lake offers both fishing in the summer and wintertime. Ice fishing is really fun on this lake. And then how far do I gotta go up here real quick? There's the Discovery Ski Area is right up here, which is a really fun area. I used to go all the time when I was a kid. I haven't gone in a few years, but I used to love going snowboarding here. It was so much fun. And really, when you're out here, you really just kind of like the other areas. You just have the outdoors truly at your fingertips. It's honestly kind of incredible. It's great out here, just being in the outdoors, because there's also camping grounds out here that we stay at in the summertime, which is fun. Coffee break. But the one caveat here is it is a lot more remote than there's like if you can drive into Anaconda to get groceries, that's great. Sadly, for other things, you might have to drive as far as say over here in Butte to get things, or um, if you have a sweet tooth, you can run up to Peaburg up here and go hit the Sweet Palace or something as the such. So that's it. So guys, that's a pretty in-depth look at kind of Deer Lodge County as a whole, going over Anaconda and its little other pieces like Opportunity and Mill Creek, and especially out at the lake. And I tried to give you guys a really in-depth overview of kind of like the little micro communities that go on in here too, like how the East End at least the history behind the East End and how with the smelters and things like that, why the layout is how it is and so many bars and it being walkable, and the new additions they're putting over here, which is great. And kind of the old new residential area of Anaconda is, yeah. And so really what I hope the key takeaway is yes, it is a small town in Montana, but each area will have a little so each area will have a little bit different way of how you're going to live though, because like out in Opportunity, and you got to take into account like getting groceries and things like that coming into Anaconda. Just little things like that from place to place, you know? But, if you're thinking of moving here or just really starting to explore, please feel free to reach out to me in the comments below or in the About Me section on my page on YouTube. I'm always happy to try and figure out which area fits your lifestyle because I think I do have a really good handle on this area because I grew up here. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, please share it with a friend if they're interested in trying to move here, make a move here. That's probably the best way you can help me out. And yeah, please feel free to hit me up in the in the description down below or on the About Me page if you are just if you are just thinking or if you are thinking of making a move here soon or just want to explore your options. I'm always happy to help. Thanks, guys. See you next time.